This is so good. I'm just showing all my food now. This is like my new job. I got it now. So I do this every day now. Like the food is so hot. I put the pizza for like in the oven extra. Like in the microwave, like a little. Ooh, like, oh my god, like, I put it in the microwave for like a few extra seconds. Ah. Now look how I'm looking, but I just rested and stuff. Ooh, excuse me. But maybe it's the angles, but like the food is super hot. I don't know if the video is gonna cut off or not. But I threw the pizza up extra long because like I want it hot and I'm so hungry. Oh god, I gotta get ranch. Wait a minute. God, that ranch. Some of the stuff ain't gonna be good. Dude, now like this TV stuff gonna be terrorism. That shit ain't fake. That shit's just not fake. It's just true. But it's about to happen up. It's just not fake. Oh, like, oh hell yeah. I'm doing. Like I'm a professional at-home eater. That's my career. I gotta put more ranch down. This ranch like comes out a lot. But it's just really good. Watch out. I gotta take off my sock. Wow, my feet. But the food is just so good. I'm trying to hurry. I'm hungry. Gotta be careful. Oof. Wow. Excuse me. I want to show it. What? Right there you go. Yeah, I'm a professional home eater. I eat at my home, but I do that as a profession. Having the ranch is just really great. I just now have gotten ranch and everything. I ain't never really had any. Not just so accessible at my house. But like if I'm out at the restaurants and stuff, I like to have ranch. Like McDonald's has good ranch. I'm putting a good amount. But sometimes it could seem like some people might put all the sauce on the food, but do they know what they're doing? Do they care? What it is, like I know the amount that I have on here, and I know what it's gonna be like. Alright, eat it. And when I eat the food, I know how the food tastes and everything. So I just love the ranch and everything. I just think ranch is really good. Then ranch is so good, then somebody say, oh, they want to have ranch with everything. Or like, look how good the granola looks. Wow, excuse me. I'm trying to show it. Focus. Right, but what it is, I'm aware how the food tastes and how I feel from it, usually. So I don't know like what all the food attitudes, but I enjoy eating food and everything. I know it's good, but I usually eat when I'm ready to eat. That's how like my energy levels is usually set. Because usually if I'm ready to eat some food, I'm in the house, all the food is here in the house and everything. So I just make a decision. What I'm gonna eat. So I just, so I just go off how I feel. So right now, like my parent got pizza. They ordered it because they wanted pizza. So my parent wanted pizza. But they let me have some. But they bought it because they wanted it. But they let me have some of it. But it's really good. I can't get it to focus really. But eating for the camera is different. I feel different versus if I don't eat with the camera on. That's why, like, then somebody could think maybe would nobody ever argue anything. That's why I think. Then I think some could leave for insanity. But I heard and say all stuff. I don't want to say anything negative or something. Or talk about stuff that could seem not good or bad. But if I eat, I'm not on the phone. I still eat regularly how I just ate. Right, see, and the ranch is just so good. I like to have extra. But I don't like do like drink it and stuff or whatever. Because like I just take a little because this sauce is actually strong. So I don't like mess with the food and stuff, like drink the sauces and all that. But the sauce, this is really good. Right, what makes a wrap really good with a wrap? Or like sandwich wraps and stuff. What about the wrap itself, the tortilla wrap? But then what about the cheese in the wrap? Then what about the cold lettuce? If it's lettuce. What about maybe if it's crisp chicken? Then what about if somebody has the ranch also? Then somebody says it with the ranch? That's why with the food and everything, it's not to think the stuff is being funny and stuff if people's using different sauces. Now it ain't to think, oh, somebody just thinking they're having fun. What about the burger? Is it the bread? What about the meat, hamburger meat? Or somebody had cheese? Was it the charcoal grill? What if the burger tastes like it was grilled? Is they eating the grill? But either way, what about that tasting? But then what was grilled? The meat. But then somehow the grill is causing the meat to have flavors. But then the grill is causing there to be the flavors happening or the grilling because it's a grill. So food is going on the grill. What the hell? What if somebody said fried chicken? But somebody might not say, oh, they put it in the fryer. They put it in the fryer. But somebody just only just say fried chicken, so somebody know the chicken was fried. What the hell? How much does somebody gotta think? But I don't want to think to cuss that. Then I don't know if I was trying to think about something or if I'm just thinking something to think something else I could have thought maybe. Right, but what about the fried chicken? But what was I talking about? But what about the fried chicken? Is it the holding the chicken? Is it biting the chicken? What about the fried versus the part that is white, the chicken meat? Because somebody say they see the fried batter, but then there's the white meat. So somebody's eating both. But then that's all the fried chicken. That's just the fried chicken. What about the French fry? That's fried. What it is, all the food's just really shocking. Then they gotta have more eggs and stuff. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But the stuff is just all gonna go on. So they're gonna have, this will just still happen. Wait a minute. Oh, excuse me. They're gonna have the food mafia. And all the food pyramid. The food horror. The food mafia and all that food terrorism. But they're gonna have people work with the pig. Some people work with the cow. some people were they gonna just do maybe people say pineapple, then all the people work pineapple, then they gonna say apple, then all the people work with apples. But then they starting to give me like more like factory stuff, like the baking stuff that I was supposed to do done at the school when I worked at the school. So now I'm about to start looking at that. But if anything is not good, it's only gonna be the racism things. But that factory stuff ain't gonna be funny. But what else do you think they're gonna do? They probably gonna be different living situations. But the factory stuff, then they're gonna have to do like, what do you think if it's Palm Bay? What if somebody said, okay, they did the migration and it happened. Now it's back to think about, okay, living in Florida, being in Palm Bay, living here in Florida, being in Palm Bay, Florida. What if I'm talking about Palm Bay, Florida? Now I'll talk about Palm Bay, Florida. Because somebody gonna know even if it is migration gonna go on, people will still be living in the country where they's from though. Even still ever. Oh, like my toes like itching, but it's like not funny. It's actually making me like feel shocking. But whatever it is, when I look out on this distance, it feel like it's some type of zoo area. Like I think like, oh, am I close to the zoo? But then the high schools are not far from over there. But then even still, that's supposed to be maybe the Bayside area. Then I could think, oh, the area I'm in is a compound. Then I could just even still think for this area specifically, it's just shocking out here. But they're gonna have the food stuff. That shit ain't gonna be fake. They're gonna have food control and all of that. Also, the next happening is gonna be the food stuff. So now that Winn-Dixie place, that's just only gonna be a racism store. So that's gonna be turning into racism things. Anybody get any racism thing products for the racism peoples? But I guess it's just gonna be all the groceries for the racism things. So now people gonna have like racism companies and stuff. That shit ain't fake, so it'll probably be like international, like racism products. So how somebody know about the grocery stores? Some of the food might not all be maybe made locally. Maybe it's just certain brands that just exist already, and somebody buy those brands of food. Now they're gonna have something like that, though, still similar, but with the racism people things. So that's probably not gonna be fake. So I don't know, but now like I don't know what's gonna go on. But what it is, like I'm trying to think and stuff. Like what I was just talking about all the food stuff. That's just the stuff just ain't gonna be funny. So but it's just so shocking. So the shit's just gonna go on. So somebody gotta think what will go on with that. But the stuff gonna have to happen up. But the stuff ain't supposed to be too much. People's not supposed to say, oh, this and that and that. This and that and that and that and that. Like so much is so much. Stuff's supposed to be for real. And that's it. So now it's a matter of, oh, what's gonna go on? It's really gonna be the racism people things. Whatever people get their whole life done up. And they can't eat none of the food. And they just gonna only be able to eat the same one thing only ever. But they gonna have to like do up all the food and stuff. And like they get done like throughout all different types of like work happenings and shit. That shit ain't fake, but that's gonna be the racism people get done up badly. So that shit ain't good. So like this shit just ain't gonna be good. But ain't nobody gonna be looking at them, and ain't nobody gonna be talking to them. But they're gonna get done up horribly. This shit ain't gonna be good. So, but the racism people thinks they ain't gonna have no reactions. They're gonna try not to, or else they're gonna be putting whatever things and stuff. That shit ain't gonna be fake. So now somebody could think maybe all the stuff that might happen up, maybe it wouldn't even happen to 2026. Maybe it happened maybe 2040 or something. Then somebody could think, oh well, maybe it really happened maybe in 2040, but the stuff couldn't happen now to 2026. So it's gonna be April. Once it's April, the shit gonna be hard. It will have to have been at least a racism thing gonna pop out. Them things might will pop out, but that shit ain't gonna be good. I would not want to see a racism thingy, so I don't want to think the shit's fun. But what it is, they gonna have all that fashion and the beauty and everything come out and stuff. So, but here they gonna make for number one here. So it's very shocking. So the only thing that ain't gonna be good is the horrible ass racism people things. So they're gonna be upset. Whatever it is, I go into like deep like energy like sensing. The stuff is over. But my energy is going like insane. But if anything, it's just gonna be the racism people things. But this shit ain't gonna be funny. Ain't nobody gonna say anything to them thingies. They're gonna be upset. The racism people things will be upset horrible. What else is supposed to be shocking? Somebody already know all this stuff gonna be shocking. But New York, like now it's just about like I just want to think like what's good and stuff. I want to try like focus like what's good. Like here has like beautiful homes and everything. But what do you think is worse to happen with the racism things? They not live in houses or they live in houses? I think it's worse if they don't live in houses and they live in wherever shed things or wherever things or something. But that's just not just supposed to be all out here. That's probably why they's building whatever houses and stuff. It's just as shocking as if somebody were to even see the racism things. So, but the racism things, like they gonna be upset. But they gonna have the racism things. I think they's gonna have to be news reporters even when the stuff is different language. So realistically, I think the racism peoples will turn into like horror things. Like horror things for horror. And they probably gonna feel like they's being used up horribly. The racism things is probably gonna feel like they's being used up horribly. Because whatever it is, I keep having like dreams about being at the schools and stuff. Somebody's probably going insane and stuff. Want me to be around them at the schools. But now they got whatever people. Oh my God. They got like whatever people will get like go insane or whatever if they see somebody, like they get excited or something. So if anything negative, it's only the racism people. But they gonna be upset because they not gonna be able to eat any of the food, and their whole lives is gonna get done up. But they supposed to be set like they got attitudes, but they also will have to be racism tier structures going on here. That shit's just not fake. They gonna have to have that shit go on. I don't know how the fuck this shit's gonna go on. Racism tier structures? That shit ain't fake. How the hell you think that will go on? Or what the hell would that be? But whatever it is, the racism thinks now it's just about whatever people getting done up. Their whole life being done up. So now it's about like the whole life racism. So that bitch, that Miss Little Hot Kitchen bitch, that bitch supposed to pretty much have like a gang unit. That shit is just not fake. But the two things that bitch got around, that I think them things is things or whatever. And they were going insane, and I just think horrible for both the things. Cause I wouldn't want to think they even look at the things, even just in general. But now, like, this stuff is just supposed to be just racism only. That shit just is not fake. But it's supposed to be like triumphant type of energy. So that bitch wanna have sweaters and all that. But that bitch, how that bitch do is supposed to be good already. So the bitch already know what the bitch think up and everything. Right, but that bitch, like, I like seeing that person cook up all the food and stuff. The food look good and everything. And then I just like how everything seemed like it go. And then, like, I see how it could be even still already. So I just like, and also like, I like the food and everything seems good and everything. But this stuff has been shocking. I haven't even been watching any of them videos, and I have been. And there's quite a lot of them. And then even still, there's a lot. But I ain't been looking at any of them really recently. But just Saturday I did. But what it is, like, this stuff ain't good or whatever right now. But this stuff it's not gonna be good. I don't know what the hell gonna go on. Right, then this show's supposed to be British show. They got like that, them people in them countries, they's gone. And so if somebody make like days from out of there, excuse me, the stuff over around there might not be too regular either. Or there's some energy where even if somebody know that they's from that country, or could think, well, did the country ever seem like something was going on? Then they gotta think that they's going insane. That's how I know this shit ain't gonna be good. Because even if I could think they guess about that country, I could think, oh yeah, I think I seen for there they made like people was living out there for real and stuff was going on a little bit. But then I gotta think, even if I think, could somebody be from out of there, then I would even think, even if I could think maybe somebody might could be from there, then they might would think is they going insane. What the hell? But that's just what I think might would be or whatever. That's how I know shit ain't gonna be good. But the shit ain't gonna be good. That shit's not good. But whatever it is. Then I seen the one Christmas movie. I said, dang, they got whatever stuff going on in that country. They make like that country is so regular and stuff and all that. And the stuff ain't even been regular there. That shit ain't good. But now all of this is just a set for wherever our vast racism people thinks that's gonna be. They're gonna have worldwide racism. But what it is, if somebody think, oh, do other countries exist, and they try to say that out to somebody, They ain't gonna give a fuck. They only gonna care if they phone stuff. For looking at their phone only ever. And it might not even be good. What the hell? So something just ain't gonna be regular. Whatever the fuck shit is some stitch things. They're gonna pop out, they're gonna turn to the racism things. That shit ain't fake. When the hell is the thing gonna pop out? And I don't wanna think the shit gonna go on. But the shit's gonna happen. The shit's just not fake. No, and this shit ain't funny or whatever. I don't give a fuck. This shit's just gonna go on. So I don't know, like this shit ain't funny. No, whatever it is, it's a sign like this stuff's gonna be like insane or whatever. If anything's not good, whatever, people is just gonna be whatever racism thingies. That shit is not fake. Right then, that one white bitch teacher hoe that was supposed to be my teacher bitch, that bitch, I ain't never heard anybody talk so shocking, like maybe at least a little bit. But that bitch was from New York. That bitch said the bitch from New York. Right, but the bitch talked. But then I said, oh, the bitch, make like the bitch would answer questions. Because realistically, that bitch would be a shocking ass teacher bitch. That bitch would be a shocking ass teacher bitch. I can't even cuss up right now. That shit is just not fake. But they make like, ain't no teachers gonna have no attitudes and stuff. But that bitch would have been insanity, but. And then I failed the whole class. But that bitch made for that shit to be. That bitch didn't, that shit's not fake. That shit's not fake. So now something's gonna happen. I always knew it. So now something's gonna happen with that hoe. So that bitch probably has seen some of my YouTube videos, even if I think that's insane. But now I wouldn't even argue the stuff. Didn't even still with Didn't even still I still think that would seem for insane, for horror. No, but that bitch said, oh, this day in April, oh, or whenever the fuck, you automatically get withdrawn if you miss like fucking 3 or fucking 5 classes or whatever. And then I missed fucking a few extra classes and stuff. That shit's not fake. So I said, oh, that bitch gonna, oh, this shit. I said, oh, so this shit's just gonna do a withdrawal. Then I said, what the hell? I seen that. I said, oh, hell no. Because that shit's not supposed to have been. Right? Then other classes, I didn't even do a withdrawal on the computer. And then the shit did a withdrawal. But then that shit's supposed to have done that with that one whole class. With the science teacher bitch. But that shit didn't happen. It did for F. So what it is, that bitch is insanity bot. And then I seen the bitch that said, oh, well, maybe the bitch insanity bot. But but I think maybe that bitch could be insanity bot. I don't know. And I don't have time to guess it. But that bitch could be insanity bot. bitch is insanity. But so what it is, like that bitch class ain't impossible, but it's kind of like, is he gonna do it or not? Now look at my head is looking. But I sure as fuck can't do no class stuff. You see how I'm looking? I can't do any work. That is like. I kind of got put on a headscarf, maybe. Look how scary my head is looking. But that bitch was insanity, but I guess it all was. I don't know. I'm not arguing about that hoe. But that whole class, I said, forgive it. But I'm not even trying to cuss up rude or whatever. The stuff wasn't bad or whatever, honestly. Like, it wasn't horrible. But I just didn't have time or whatever to be doing like, oh, what's this one, what's that one? When don't nobody give a fuck. And then the stress of shit when I could just exit. So that's what the fuck happened. I exited out the junk. That might have been one of those shockiness. But that shit might be shocking. No, I never went back to the class. I didn't think hateful or anything. Even if I just had laughed or something, I don't think the cuss up rude or something. But I was too tired and stuff. Right, but I sure don't know. But they got like the school stuff. They make like somebody got to act out of the person act when they's in the class. That shit don't make no sense. Now they make like somebody got to act like that. Or else the other person gonna go insane or whatever the fuck. That shit ain't fake. Or they could want to start talking to whoever. If anything ain't good, whatever, people just gonna be whatever racism shits. Nobody's doing any arguing, John. It's only supposed to be whatever horrible racism things. But that bitch gave me up on purpose. That the class should have been withdrawn. That bitch wanted me to. That bitch wanted to do for F for the class. So that bitch might have seen me and stuff. Now the bitch is going insane and stuff. Cause the bitch probably is thinking about me somehow. Even if I could think that's not true. God could think that shit might not be true. But it might not be fake. Then even if this shit was true, it'd be shocking. But the lady's probably going insane and stuff and they like want to hang out. This is the stuff I'm talking about. The stuff might turn like for shocking. That shit is not fake. So now that bitch is some type of lesbian. That shit is not fake. But that shit is not fake. Right, so then that bitch been in Palm Bay and stuff, but that bitch supposed to be in regular energy. So this shit ain't gonna be good. So that bitch supposed to be regular. So they might have whatever. So that bitch some type of shocking ass psychotic junkie. But cause that bitch is in some type of shocking ass energy. That shit ain't good. So that bitch is going insane and stuff. And I already done had an energy dream about that hoe. Even before I said, what's going on? That shit is not fake. Energy dream? That's just not fake. So now that bitch wanna be said like the bitch act shocking or something. Like the bitch gonna go insane, have an explosion. But I don't have time to argue or whatever. And I don't have time to argue that. Even if that's true or whatever. Then I know the Miss Addie is bad. That's just not fake. So the bitch might well have a lesbian crush on me, but probably maybe. Or the lady said is a certain energy person, and they see my energy, so they trying to want to hang out. Because now I don't have time to argue that though. So, but then even if I say anything about either of them people, they're not gonna go on or whatever. That's what I'm saying. It might just seem shocking. Then I could guess, oh, maybe that would be shocking or whatever. So I don't know. But now, whatever the stuff is, there's gonna be whatever people. They're gonna go insane if people's just in their house or whatever. But the shit ain't fake or whatever. But then whatever people, they supposed to already have their own stuff or whatever. But I think whatever people or whatever, they freak out now. But it's not even actual. That's what I'm saying. It might just be like horror things, but somebody don't have to think that. That's why if anything's so horrible, it would just be whatever horrible ass racism people think. Guy can't think to argue up stuff. But it might will rain, maybe. I don't know. But whatever it is, whatever people thinks, there's just gonna be whatever racism people. But they go insane horrible if people's just in their house. They like flip out. Even if they had their own stuff. That shit's just not fake. That shit's just not fake. So even if they had their own stuff, they might flip out. Or like have reactions. If somebody don't act how they act. Now I got something in my eye, but I'm probably gonna end this video. Oh my god. I got something in my eye for real. But I'll just keep making these videos. So that's the end for this video. But remember, I've had marijuana gummy. Like it looks bright and it might look bright, but it's dark. But I think whatever people, if they sense like there's people and then they's not acting how they act, they might just go insane horrible. And I don't think that shit is fake. So then even if somebody tries to say, oh, don't they have their own stuff or whatever, then whatever person would just get upset or whatever. Because it's just not good. That's why if anything's so not good, it would just only be the racism. People think so horrible to get done for the worldwide racism to be packaged up and everything. And they would go insane horrible about anybody and any and everything ever at all. And then they would have reactions from people's skin color. And they would be upset horrible. But that would be horror. But something like that's probably going to go on soon. Because something is going to happen with whatever Stitch things that been out. That shit is not fake. So this shit is just more so horror. So that shit is just not fake.